AITA for breaking my promise to my husband by working again. My 37M husband and I, 35F, have been married for 9 years with 2 children, 5F and 8M. Before we got married, we had a conversation about what we wanted from each other and what some of our main goals were. 2 of our biggest goals were, he wanted a stay-at-home wife when we had children, and I wanted a small homestead. He never wanted me to work, and I agreed, and he agreed we could have a small homestead. I used my savings to buy our house, which had 5 acres of land on it, so we wouldn't have to rent, as he didn't have anything saved up at that time. Keep that in mind because it will come up later. I had also bought all kinds of seeds to plant in chickens. After about 3 months, I became pregnant with our son, and everything seemed wonderful. Fast forward 4 years later, and I'm pregnant with our daughter, and I'm selling our vegetables and flowers, eggs, etc. from our homestead, and began to make some cash on the side. My husband thought it was great and would make jokes about how now he could relax. After I had our daughter, he started complaining about how he wanted to be home more to spend time with us and help with the homestead, so I suggested he work part-time. He worked part-time for 2 years and then quit his job altogether, but the second year he barely helped me with our homestead and instead played a lot of video games, which was fine. I was used to doing the homestead on my own, and he still worked part-time, so it wasn't a big deal at the time. He then quits his job and for 1 year does nothing. We argued almost every day. He drank almost every day and did nothing but play video games and have bonfires with his friends on our property. I've worked hard to get our land where it needed to be and have started a flower business and beekeeping for honey, which has been going strong for the past year, which has made us more money and is the biggest reason why he completely quit his. At this point, we have been married for 7 years. I ended up sitting down with him and having a conversation on why he doesn't help me and his drinking every day, but he said he was just taking a break and that I owed him for all the times he paid the bills, and I was at home apparently living it up. I explained that even though I didn't work, I still contributed to our home. He had home-cooked meals, and I worked hard on the land and in home, plus took care of our children and bought our house. He became irate and started saying I was being a nagging bosh, and I was literally speechless as he had never spoke to me that way. Fast forward another year, and he's doing the same stuff, only his best friend from multiple states away calls him and tells him he's moving 20 minutes away from us. His friend starts coming over almost every day, only he starts talking to my husband about his behavior, and my husband starts hearing his best friend compliment me on our garden and flowers, and my husband begins getting irritated over it, and when his friend isn't around, he mocks him in front of me and starts accusing me of liking him. I told him that it seemed as if he was projecting his own feelings as he's done nothing for this family for the past 2 years, and that I've never cheated on him, and if he didn't want his friend over, then he should talk to him about it. He said no, and that it was my fault. Fast forward 4 months. It's been 9 years now, and I'm at the end of my rope. I've watched the person I love become an alcoholic. His friends and family have tried talking with him, and he absolutely hates me and feels I've ruined his life. He calls me his goody two-shoe wife, and until now I haven't given up on him, but I just can't keep going like this. His best friend made a pass at me and told me he would take care of me and that my husband has turned into a bum. I told him no, and that even if I divorced him, that I would never date his friend, which I told my husband about. A few nights ago, my husband had a bonfire party for his birthday. He got wasted, and I caught him kissing one of his other friend's wives and his best friend, and he got into a physical fight over it. His best friend told him he wasn't man enough for me, and they fought again. My husband began yelling at me and called me his perfect goody two-shoe wife with her perfect sourdough bread and her perfect this and perfect that. I explained to him that I'm not perfect, and I don't understand why he says this. He screamed at me and told me everything was my fault and that I ruined everything. He made such a huge scene with all of our friends there, and I had made him a homemade carrot cake as it was his favorite, and he smashed it. After the party was over, he ended up waking our son with his yelling, and our son came up to him and yelled at him to stop, but my husband wouldn't. I tried calming my husband down and telling him to stop yelling in front of our child, and my son looked at him and yelled he hated him. My husband became quiet and looked down at him and then looked at me and then said I was now turning his own son against him. I put him back in bed and told him that sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, but that everything was going to be okay, and I cuddled with him until he fell asleep. My husband argued with me some more, said I emasculated him and passed out on our kitchen floor because no one wants their family apart, but I feel there isn't anything else I can do, and I feel therapy will be needed afterwards because I'm doubting myself. This morning he left to one of his friends' houses and said that if I tried divorcing him, that no one would want me, and that he would take half of everything, and that I would be forced to sell our home and business, but we signed a prenup, and I think he forgot about that, but still, who says that to the person they love? I feel so depleted.